Undercover boss walks in, sees black cashier crying, hears something no boss should hear. She's lucky we let her keep this job. That voice, that smug laugh. The break room door was cracked just enough. What Eric heard next made his stomach churn. You know how they are. Let her cry. He wasn't a trainee. He was the CEO. And this was his store. In that moment, everything changed. This is the story of a silent tear that exposed the rot beneath the surface. Welcome, story lovers. Where are you watching from? Hit the like button and drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. Eric Miles was known for running one of the most successful grocery chains in the state. But unlike most CEOs, he believed in boots-on-the-ground leadership. Once a month, he would disguise himself as a trainee and walk into one of his stores. That day, it was store number 47, quiet, small, tucked away in a diverse neighborhood he rarely visited. Wearing an apron and name tag, Eric clocked in unnoticed, blending in with the staff. The aisles buzzed with routine. Shoppers flowed in and out, and employees worked quietly. One of them was Tasha, a black single mother working the register. She moved with a smile, but something in her eyes seemed tired, almost guarded. Eric observed, curious. By noon, he noticed that the smiles around her were thinner. Whispers, looks, a manager's glare that lingered too long. Something was off. He hadn't seen it from the boardroom, but now, standing just feet away, he felt it building. Tasha's shift began like every other. Smile, scan, thank you, repeat. But today, the smiles she received felt colder. The manager, Kyle, hovered around her lane like a shadow, nitpicking every small move. Her drawer was too slow. Her greeting was unprofessional. By mid-morning, he had already written her up twice, once for being overly friendly to a black elderly customer, and another for using the store phone for an unauthorized call when she checked in on her son. Eric watched from the bakery section, pretending to organize bread, but he heard it all. Tasha apologized each time, head low, voice steady. But the customers weren't complaining, only Kyle. Later, a white coworker casually arrived 15 minutes late. Kyle greeted her with a laugh and a donut. No warning, no write-up. Then it got worse. At lunch, Tasha took her break in the back room. Through the cracked door, Eric heard muffled voices. Kyle and another supervisor. She's lucky we let her keep this job. You know how they get, always playing the victim. Let her cry, maybe she'll quit. Eric's heart dropped. A lump formed in his throat as he peered in. Tasha was sitting alone, wiping silent tears off her cheeks. He clenched his fists. This wasn't just bad management. This was racism, casual, cruel, and deeply embedded. He knew what he had to do next. Eric stepped into the break room, unzipping his disguise. The name tag hit the floor. Silence followed. "I heard everything," he said, voice steady but cold. Kyle's face drained of color. The supervisor stammered. Tasha froze, confusion in her eyes turning to disbelief. "You think your position gives you the right to humiliate someone just trying to survive?" Eric's voice cut through the room like glass. "You mocked her tears. You dismissed her humanity. Not in my company." Kyle tried to defend himself, but Eric raised his hand. "You're done." Tasha sat stunned, unsure if this was justice or just another dream waiting to be shattered. But this wasn't a warning. It was a reckoning. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It helps. Kyle was fired that same day. The supervisor was suspended, pending further investigation. But Eric didn't stop there. He launched a company-wide audit to address racial bias and an anonymous reporting system. Tasha was offered a promotion, Not as a favor, but because her record was spotless and her courage unshakable. For the first time in years, she walked into work with her head held high. Eric knew he couldn't fix everything overnight, but he also knew silence was complicity. Racism doesn't always wear a hood. Sometimes it wears a name tag and hides behind policies. This story wasn't just about a cashier. It was about every cashier. It was about every unseen injustice quietly tolerated. How many Tashas are out there right now, crying behind locked breakroom doors? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos. Take care.